Yeah. Dav. Wow, we're live. It's actually live right now. But the audio on your side seems to have disappeared.
Hello, hello.
Oh no, it doesn't. It
Here I
hasn't.
am.
Yeah. You're
I'm just playing with you.
funny. I like it. I like it. Well, firstly, good morning, Kerry, and thank you for coming on the interview on RadiAsian, the number one station for the Asian invasion. I said it right, even though I work here. I've got messages coming in right now, live now on YouTube. Oh my god. God, live now, YouTube done. Right. So, I know that you're having a cup of tea. What sort of tea do you have?
Normal English breakfast. It's the only way, surely. First thing in the morning.
Boy, do you know what I've done? Like I had this Aldi've changed the whole concoction. No, hold on. I've picked up the an old batch of the Aldi changed over the ingredients in the hot chocolate, the instant hot chocolate, right? And then they had this new one, and they sort of bastardized it, and it's just not the same. But I don't know how. There must be someone lazy. I found an old one on the shelf. So I picked that one up. Thought yes, it hasn't got I'm new on it.
You're going
Mixed.
to have to make that last. It's a bit like the new Snickers and Mars bars, isn't it? They're charging the same price, but they're like
Yeah,
half the size. You know.
it's true. But I'll mix that with the medium roast Colombian. This is the newfangled thing from.
Check you out, mixing stuff together so you have a hot coffee or a mochaccino or whatever it's called.
Yeah. I thought I need it because I've got this funny ritual that I do before any interview. What I do, Kerry, I keep running to the toilet. I don't know whether it's because I'm getting old and incontinence and that, but it's just it's weird. It's not a nice feeling. So when you originally wanted to do the test call earlier on, I was like, I was running to the loo. I thought, what's going on? I think it's nerves, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. You know, do you drink lots of water?
I try to, but it's just we've got this mad water distiller downstairs in the studio, so everything's distilled. So if you ever have coffee with distilled water or tea with distilled water, you can just taste it for what it is, because I believe that water should just be H2O and that's it.
Absolutely. I'm in full agreement with you.
That's cool. That's cool. Right. People are probably wondering what sort of an interview is this? The presenter rambling on, talking about coffee and tea.
Very colloquial. It's fine. Absolutely fine. Relax.
Brilliant. First, let me apologise. What it is, you tagged me in a post right on Facebook, right, and I went to accept it or whatever it is, right. But if you look on here, I've got like over 600 things I've been tagged in. I thought, where the hell is it? No, 508. I don't know how many there are. There's like 600 things I've been tagged in, and I thought. I thought I've never had to. I've never bothered with the whole. People try and tag you with stuff. I don't know. It's just.
Yeah.
I apologise for that.
It's no, don't be silly. It's obviously when you're trying to promote a new single, everything is. My social media lady is always saying to me, "You need to tag everyone. You need to tag everything. Everything needs to be tagged."
True.
You know, and I'm a bit of an archaic dinosaur when it comes to the computer, and I don't. Although I'm sort of, not exceptionally young, but in the younger generation, I just don't like computers, if I'm honest. So, I try and do my absolute utmost. My New Year's resolution was to try and be as at least technophobe as possible and give it a go. So,
Really?
yeah.
Okay, you're not messing about. Okay, what I want to say to you regarding that is, hold on a sec. Hopefully everything's running okay. Is I suffer with a condition called electromagnetic hypersensitivity, right? There's your bombshell, right? So I don't use mobile phones, so and I work in radio, and people are like,
amazing.
It's weird. So we've got a landline with a wire, traditional stuff over here, and it's very odd. So the way I have to live is unusual. So everything's Ethernet. There's no Wi-Fi, So it may seem a bit weird.
Well, kudos to you, because I unfortunately joined the realm of everyone that can't live without their phones. And obviously in today's society with the music industry the way it is, you have to be very much on your phone. It's very much a full-time job as well. And you know, it's kind of getting out that pattern, isn't it, of waking up first thing in the morning and looking at your phone, or going to bed at night and not having 20 minutes just to have no screen time. It's very, very important. Otherwise, you just lie there whirring away all night long.
Wait, that's true, man. People wonder how the hell I'm running things. Like, it's even called RadiAsian. You know,
Yeah, but you know what? You do it. You do it. That's what works for you. So we're all different, you know, and if that works for you, then long may it last.
Yay, thank you. Thank you. RadiAsian, where the presenters can't stand radiation. So,
so the first one is RADIASIAN, but then can't stand the radiation is RADIAT. I like it.
Cool. Right. So, what I was doing, I listened. We previously interviewed on the 1st of April, April Fool's Day last year, 2020. We were in lockdown number 1, if I'm correct. Yeah, was it lockdown number 1 then? I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was all new. We were all, you know, like, oh, great furlough, blah blah blah. Now we're all just a bit.
Yeah, but you've been like mega productive during lockdown. So I know this question is like further on down the list, but you know, how is that now we're talking about it? How has it affected you? Lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, lockdown is lockdown, and you know, there are so many conflicting views about all of this, and people, I think, have got to a certain extent now too much time to kind of, you know, assess things in a way that, you know, may not be conducive to the state in which the country is in at the minute. But the thing is, we're in lockdown and we've got all this time. We all moan all the time that we've got no time. So now we've got this abundance of time. We need to make use of it. And, you know, I can quite honestly say that in the sort of, 10, 11 months now, I made a pact with myself, because I'm a very... anyone that will know me will say, God, she can't sit still, she's got ants in her pants, you know, she's this, that and the other. And it's true. So I made a pact with myself to keep my days very, very busy, focus on my music, do the things that I need to do, things that I don't get time to do normally. So what I will say is that, you know, my big achievement over the year, non-music related, is I think so far I've walked from Cornwall to John O'Groats and back again in terms of miles and kilometres. Wow. About 10 times.
About 10 times?
Yeah. So last month alone, I did 479,000 steps.
What the? Whoa! Hold on a second, man. So, how are you? So how many miles a day?
About 15 to 20 a day. On my normal days, 15 kilometres that is, and then around about 20 on a push day, on a real push day.
Hold on. Is this on a treadmill? Is this out and about in the real world?
No. This is out. So basically, I've combined the time. So by doing the walking, I then come up with my new ideas. I think about my songs. I contemplate on the day ahead, all the things that are going on in my life, everything. And anyone that knows me will know about a year ago, if you could ask me to walk, I'd be like, oh, I can't be bothered. It's a waste of time. It's boring. Now I can't live without it. So that's one thing that I do to really sort of, you know, create space in my day. But it also gives me a rest from everything else that I'm doing. But I make sure that I do it pretty much every day. Other things, writing songs, I've had a lot to write about this year, so on a personal level, just doing stuff like that, meditating, reading, speaking to friends, speaking to family, making sure everybody's okay. So on a personal level, it's been tough. I'm very, very blessed. I was able to work. I've been able to work all the way through with teaching. I'm a music tutor by day, so I teach piano and singing. And literally from the start of the first lockdown, I made the decision to put my business online with the hope that it would continue. And it did. And I was very, very lucky. So I'm very, very blessed with the situation and being able to keep safe. And it's been good. It's been good.
Okay, wow. First things first, I thought, here's me doing 3 miles a day in telling Claire, going, I've done 3 miles and I've done 4 miles, blah, 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 blah today. But what I have been doing, I've been lifting these mad heavy old iron weights.
Oh, bit of Iron Man.
Yeah, but I've had to do it at the front of the building, right? And it's just like people thinking, what is happening to Dagenham? But because Dagenham's a rough area, you get shot, you get stabbed, anything can happen over here. But over my side's a bit more posher. We got all the.
Oh, you're in the upper class area.
Yeah, definitely. But half mile down the road, that's where crazy stuff happens, man. But at the back over here at the studio, we got like 3 lakes or 4 lakes.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, very nice.
it's proper nice. We got parakeets in the trees. We got a heron that sits here as well. It's a great big
Looking
thing.
for the fish. Looking for the fish.
You know that. So I think the link between training and keeping sane, yeah. Obviously, there's also getting out and about as well to do some sort of exercise within, prescribed
Yeah,
limits. Of course, yeah. But there's this correlation between being isolated and stuck inside solitary confinement and brain atrophy, and but the training has helped level me off. So I know we're doing this crazy workout just with 2 dumbbells, 1 barbell, 1 block of wood under the heels for squatting. And
old school.
Yeah,
old school.
yeah, proper old school.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're into your training. From what I remember, you're pretty hardcore.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. One of my old kind of secrets in the closet is that I am a qualified personal trainer. So I used to train people a lot, and I used to do a lot of group exercise because group exercise is heavily related to music. So I'm very much into, it's all a body, mind and soul thing. If you treat your body right, you're treating your mind right. If you treat your mind and body right, you're going to have a good soul, that kind of thing. Your body is a temple, really. What you put inside of it, it will take, because it does, it allows. But you've got to think about the nourishment that you're giving yourself. Is it good or is it bad? Are the thoughts that you have good or are they bad? Is it negative or is it positive? Because it will have an effect on your life. It will have an effect on the people you have around you, the relationships you're in, the things that happen to you, the choices that you make. So it's really, really important that you surround yourself with good people with real good intention. And I don't just mean the people that say to you that, oh yeah, you're a great friend of mine and I'll do anything for you. I mean the people that literally are there for you through night and day when it's really, really shitty and when it's really, really good. Okay, so I'm a massive believer in that. So your training, absolutely. Old school, the more old school, the better. The more old school it is, the likely is the harder it is, and the more endorphins and dopamine you're going to release. So you're going to feel so much more better about yourself.
Well, I guess the craziness levels have dropped down. That's one thing. But then I thought, I thought, will I become suddenly like boring as a presenter? So I thought, no.
Not at all.
Right now, okay. How about this? Yeah, expanding on what you're saying about thoughts and a positive mindset. Right. Let's go a little bit metaphysical here. Let's say. Visualization, right? And then on the one hand, then you have realization. Now, I feel that visualization plus sufficient quantum energy equals realization.
Yes. Yeah, you attract what you are visualizing into your life. Yeah, I believe that too. I'm a great believer in that.
Cool. So let's say, but then the question is, how would you generate the quantum energy to manifest things into reality?
It's emotion, it's feelings. So thoughts create feelings. So how you're thinking about yourself, how you think about something will create an instant reaction. So if somebody speaks very curtly to you and your thought is, oh, well, that was very rude, it will create a feeling of negativity or sadness or anger or frustration. That then creates an energy, and that energy will bring more of that towards you through the day. I'm a massive believer in that. It's a bit like when you wake up in the morning, you get out of bed and you stump your toe. That's the first thing. Wow. Then if you can't get over that, then something else happens. Then your car won't start. Then, these are things that I'm just kind of giving you as an example. But if you do not surround yourself with the right energy, if you don't have the right vibrations personally, what it's like. We've all done it. And life is hard. Life is difficult. You've got all this stuff to deal with all the time. But if you're on the right vibrational level, then you will attract good stuff. When you feel free, you attract good stuff.
Wow. Very, very true. I think that's very, very true. Let me run some nutty by you, right?
Okay, go on. All right. I like nutty. I'm good.
Okay. You'll notice that over here, behind me, is a huge copper pyramid, which I custom built myself.
Wow.
It's a monster of a thing, yeah. And the dimensions are golden ratio, 1.618, wherever it is. It's beautifully done. And okay, I feel that should you assume the lotus position within a pyramid, your body forms the pyramid within a pyramid. So that's a pyramid within a pyramid, and that could also be an amplifier of thought. I don't know. It's just.
Yeah, it's whatever visualization works for you. If that for you draws strength and gives you energy, then that's what works for you. As a singing tutor, I can quite honestly tell you that a lot of singing teaching is about visualization. It's about being able to hit the sounds with efficiency and safety. It's about there is a kind of like a physics side to it, really, and that really is the technical side. You have to remember that your vocal cords are part of your body. It's an internal instrument, so that means that you need to treat it with the respect that it needs. The vocal cords are muscles, so like any muscle in the body, they need warming up, they need cooling down. But visualizing certain things when you're trying to get across a feeling, an emotion, a connection, how you're trying to make it sound, that's a great tool. It's a great tool in singing, in music alone. I mean, it's the same with piano to a certain extent, although piano is quite more rigorous, it's quite more structured. But with singing, for sure, a lot of it is visual and kinesthetic.
Wow. Have you ever experimented with different tunings, such as A equals 4/4/4, the 5/2/8 whole solfeggio, what do you call it thing?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, in terms of tunings, what you have to remember is that each singer, so when I write songs, for example, I can only relate it to how I'm writing songs, but you will only ever, as a good artist, I would like to feel, write something that you can deliver really well if it's intended for you to sing it. Sometimes I've just written a new track now, actually, called Just a Memory, and although I originally wrote it in C minor, I'm actually going to transpose it to D minor because it just sounds better for the song. Although I can sing it in both keys, everything has got to be about serving the song. And so, yeah, you have to experiment. You have to see what works. Also, again, for singers, when they experiment in different keys and transposition, what they often find is that something they thought they couldn't do, they can actually do. So it's really worth just having an exploratory kind of feeling, being very open to trying different things. Music is all about that anyway. It's the same as art, it's the same as sport, it's the same as all of these things, fashion, anything creative, anything that requires you to have dedication but also think outside the box. You've got to try these things just to see how they work.
Yeah. I think I do a lot of experimentation with sound and a lot of weird and wonderful experiments in my downtime when I'm not doing radio. So one interesting thing that I picked up was the story of Marconi around the time of Mussolini. And I think Mussolini's wife would have been traveling in some posh car, and they let off some very, very low frequency sound. And what it did, it managed to stop all petrol engines, but it couldn't stop the diesel engines.
Wow.
Yeah, so the use of, in terms of literally sonic warfare, like that sort of things, I have a big interest in, and the use of sound for good and bad, and how it's been used. So we can then talk about the Ark of the Covenant, and I'm not going to babble on like a dying witch about these sort of things. But it's just I got a message through from Harvey. Harvey says, "Firstly, you look beautiful."
Is it to you? You do, Dav. You look beautiful.
I forget that, man. I look rough. It's just that I don't. Do you know what it is? I know when I'm out and about, walking about, doing things, doing my exercise, I make sure I look raggedy and trampy and all the rest of that. So people leave me alone. Because people leave me alone, and only the people that really know me, I getting on with the radio, mate, and all the rest of that. They'll talk to me.
How you getting on with the radio, mate? All right.
That's what it is. I'm not even kidding. I'm a very I'm not saying I'm antisocial or nothing, but it's just the fact that
you like to just get on and do your thing. I get it.
Yeah.
Get it.
First question from Harvey. That was, can you tell us about how your journey in the world of music first started?
Oh gosh, here's a story. Thank you, Harvey. Thank you for your lovely comment as well. So yes, I started playing piano when I was 5 years old. My fondest memory is chugging down the end of the garden at 5. We had a massive 180-foot garden, to this yellow asbestos garage that was half falling down. And inside was a honky-tonk piano that my parents could just about afford, with about 4 keys that worked, no word of a lie. So pretty much for the first year of my playing, it was silent piano, with maybe the exception of a D, F, and A that worked. And yeah, that was it really. And then I studied music all the way through school. I just kind of fell into everything at secondary school, jazz band, choir, orchestra, all of these types of things. And from a very young age, I was writing music. I was writing songs, jingles, that kind of thing. So I'd always really had a massive interest in music. And then when I was 14, I decided that I really wanted to do music for the rest of my life. And so my parents applied for a scholarship to the local council, which was very hard in those days. You're talking kind of 90s. So they gave out 2, I think, music scholarships every 6 years, and they were full bursaries. And I managed to get a scholarship with the council, and wow. I went and had a few auditions, if you like, one at Guildhall, one at Royal Academy, one at Trinity. And I got in. But the funny thing about the story is that at 14, I only played the piano. And when I went for the audition at the local council music school, they said to me, "You're wonderful, but you need 2 instruments to go to a London Royal College." And they were like, "You have got an audition like lined up in 3 months, but you need to learn something else really quickly." And I was like, what the hell am I going to learn? I've been playing the piano for, a very, very long time, 9 years. What could I possibly learn to that standard? And they were like, "Do you sing?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know really. I only sing in the choir at school." Anyway, spent 3 months learning classical, learning opera, learning jazz, literally, you name it, I was doing it. And when I went for my audition at Trinity, they gave me a place on the proviso that singing would actually be my first study, not my second. So I think there was a little singer in there all along. And that was it really. And then from there, I fell in and out of bands through my sort of late teenage years into early 20s. I've done a lot with BBC Introducing Southwest, do a lot with the festivals and things. I've just currently got a new band together, session band, for when we were able to kick back off. As you know, Dev, I had quite a few gigs lined in for last year, but they all got cancelled. They were all sold out. It was going to be a really good year, but obviously, just given the situation, that couldn't happen. And that's it really. And as I've gone on, I've just kind of experimented. But I guess the biggest evolution over these last few years is finding your style. And this is something that a lot of artists talk about all the time. What's your style? Where do you fit? Who do you sound like? Who's your right? They're all the kind of questions that you get. And for a lot of these interviews, I've never really been able to answer with a true heart, because I don't really know who I sound like, and I don't really know where I fit. I don't really fit anywhere, I don't think. What I can tell you is that when I do write music and when I do produce the songs and get them out there, it's all based around the song. So although there is a kind of brand there, it's all about the song. And if you go on my new website, which has just gone live, that's amazing. All the songs are there, and they're all very different. You couldn't listen to, you could tell it was me, but you'd go, "God, that's so different to that." And God, that's, again, with the new single coming out, it's very different to what I would normally do. And it's pushed my boundaries.
Wow. What an answer. You mentioned the website, and I had a look at it last night. So it's kerrygoodhind.com, and it looks very, very badass.
Yeah, I've had to put on a badass exterior this last year. Like I say, there's been a lot of things going on personally. So I've had to kind of grow a thick skin. I've had to do a lot of growing up as well. I've had to really assess where I am with my music career and what I want to do, and really kind of put the priorities in place. And this now is a priority for me. It's something that needs to kind of get out there, and people, I want people to hear my music. I want people to be able to find a connection with my music if they can. If I can do that as an artist, that's the reward for me.
Wow. Tell us, who designed that website, by the way?
So I've got a lovely. Actually, it's really funny. It's dual pronged. Actually, it's probably more than dual pronged. I've got a lovely friend called Sarah Bryant who's listening in this morning. She's amazing. She's a fellow musician. She's a fellow singer. She runs choirs. She's very musical lady, and she's very creative. And we've come together through a collision of the worlds, through some piano and some singing to start with. She's become a very dear friend of mine, and she's designed the website for me. It looks amazing. It sounds amazing. She's also going to be lead BV in my band, which is amazing because she's an amazing singer. And we're going to be doing some really cool recorded acoustic videos through this year that will go live. And you have to listen even just to her. She's amazing.
Wow. What I noticed, I love the way you done the pictures in triangles as well.
Yeah, she's done that. She did it all as a mirror smash effect. I mean, I literally just pop over and see her and she's like, I've done this. And I'm like, oh, it looks amazing. I mean, I could 100% trust her. She's got an eye for everything. She knows all about social media. She's just very on it and very genuine, down to earth. And I'm very blessed to have her as an asset to the team.
Wow. So that's kerrygoodhind.com.
That is.
So at the end of the day, I think that's very impressive. So you focused on your the digital side of things, but at the same time you're also doing all this mad walking as well, which is so it's
walking and writing. Yeah. But you know that's kind of that's how it goes. You know, like I'm not one of these people that can sit very rarely. I mean, there is another song. I mean, I've got about. We were talking about this yesterday. There's about 8 songs ready for the new album. And I've got one more to produce, and that means all 8 will have been done. They're ready to go. We've just got to sort videos and things out this year. But it literally is a case of sitting down, getting an idea, going away from it, coming back a few days later, sitting down, revisiting that idea, trying to complete. Very rarely, I think I've got about 4 songs on the album so far where I've completed it in 1 or 2 days or 1 or 2 sessions, but usually it takes time. And when I'm out walking, I listen to my recordings and I add lyrics, or I can hear parts, or do that kind of thing. It's a very steady process. It's not something that can be rushed, and I'm not a patient person, so I've had to really learn to just relax off of it, and it will come when it's ready.
Wow. What do you know, the walking, how many hours a day does that take?
It's about 2.5 usually, 2.5. I'm not going to lie, I do Paula Radcliffe it. I'm literally go round like the rate of knots some days because of time constraints. But the best time to do it's in the summer, because in the summer you haven't got to wear 50 jackets, gloves, hat. You can just literally put your t-shirt on, put your earphones in, put your earpods in, and away you go. It's going to be a really good time this year. I'm looking forward to it.
Do you know, another question come from you seem very positive and upbeat. So who's your biggest inspiration?
Oh, what a question. Okay. I have lots of different people in my life that are inspirational. I would say, I mean, it's going to sound so cliche, but my mum is very inspirational. She's helped me through a really rough time recently. So have my friends. Sarah's been amazing too. And I've got other people who understand me on a spiritual level, who understand me as a person. But I think it's always difficult, isn't it? In terms of musical inspiration, there are so many artists. I mean, I love lots of different music. I was brought up on eclectic sounds, from Motown to 70s pop to heavy metal to rock. I mean, the list goes on. I think that's how you kind of develop your sound unconsciously. I think that's just how you do it. But yeah, I'd say my mum. I'd say my mum, because she knows me. I'm part of her, and she knows how I tick and what makes me work. And she's always there for me, come rain or shine, night or day. And she's always got very wise words.
Big salute to your mum, because without her you wouldn't be here. Also your dad.
No, you're right.
It's true. So, third question from Harvey. Harvey's killing it. I might as well get Harvey a job over here in the studio, man. We can just do this whole thing, remotely. So, you said you've been reading. So, what's your favourite book to date?
Yeah, so I do read a lot of books. I read a lot of music books, but there is a book that I'm going to start reading. I've ordered it yesterday. Let me just tell you what it's called. Hang on. Okay. I've got a, this is unprepared. So let me just have a quick look.
It's cool.
It's called. It's not going to tell me. Hang on one moment.
Yeah, it's all right. It's okay. It's all good, man.
So many messages, so many people. Hang on a second.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's just, it gives me a chance to relax.
It's a guy called Jordan Peterson. So it's a book about life. I'm into a lot of not self-help books at the minute, but books that you can live your values, you can live your life by. And this guy is a psychologist, but he also understands the human psyche. He's very much about you looking after yourself. It's a bit like the analysis of being on a plane's about to crash. You're on the plane. You've got to put your mask on before you can help anybody else. So anybody that tells you that you need to help everyone else and help yourself last, it's that kind of a feel to it. So it's about looking after yourself, making sure you know where your boundaries are, making sure that, people don't really sort of take you for a ride. And in this industry as well, you need that a lot. There are a lot of good people. There are a lot of seriously people that are out to kind of make a buck off you, maybe don't have your best interests at heart. So I'm just about to start reading that, and I shall let Dav know, Harvey, what it's like as a good read, just in case you might want to buy yourself a copy and have a go.
Wow. So you haven't started reading it yet, but you've just ordered it, is that right?
Yeah. Coming Monday, click and collect.
Brilliant, superb. I just started first thing when I wake up, I before I go to bed I try and read. First thing I always try and read as well. The Secret Life of Plants. Yeah, it may seem a bit odd, but in the studio I just figured that we need to have plants over here which are good at converting the CO2 to oxygen and pretty efficient. So we've picked up some lovely plants over here, and you can't see them, but they are around the studio. So I picked up some aloe vera, this acacia, whatever it is, acacia. I'll keep saying it in an Indian way, acacia.
Acacia, yeah, the trees, yeah, that's the ones.
Yeah. We've got that. We've got another one. Hold on a second. We've got a message saying, "Is someone hoovering?"
Is someone hoovering?
No, they're not.
Random?
No one's hoovering on this side. I think it's just. It could be the sensitivity of this microphone. I've disengaged the compressor, so it's just literally the preamp and the microphone. That's from Claire. Sorry, hon. Normally, I kick off before I start anything in my day. I said to Claire, "You'll be the first voice in the morning and the last voice at night, no matter what happens in life." Right. So today, I sort of like broke the rule, but it's just because I'm always stressed out. I'm the worst person to talk to before an interview. After the interview, I'm cool because everyone messages you and plagues you with some trivial silly stuff, right? That they'll ask you weird questions. I'm like, no, not before the interview. Like for me, the interview is so important in the sense that
after. It's like a performance. After, let's deal with it afterwards. I get it. I totally get it.
Trust me, man. So it's just. Sorry, yeah, it's my side. I think it's so. I don't know.
Not the air conditioning, is it?
No. I think this microphone's so sensitive. What I'll do, I've turned down the gain on the preamp, and hopefully that should rectify it. But right, okay. So we spoke about. Hold on, your favourite food and why? Is it?
Oh no, I knew he was going to ask this. Right, so I'm a massive spag bowl girl for sure, and that's because it's the only thing I can bloody well make. So I love a spaghetti bolognese. But I do love a chicken roast dinner as well. In fact, Dav, I love food in general. I'm not going to lie. I eat most things, and probably tonight I'm going to have a Domino's.
Wow.
I just get it out there.
It's cool. Have you tried that posh Italian range of Domino's? The actual.
Oh no, it's got to be a Hawaiian with a stuffed crust with loads of garlic and herb dip every time.
Oh man, that's
I'm so easy to please. I'm such an easy girl to please. It's untrue.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well, what I've been doing through lockdown, I've been cooking.
I know. I've seen some of your pay. It looks very nice. Some of it.
Yeah, but it takes 900 years in the kitchen, man. It's
You're not one of these that uses every pot and pan, are you?
No. Do you know what it is? I'm very funny about like, if we're cooking, I have to use distilled water. So if we're doing lentils, and I found that to train, like I reckon Okay, ignoring branch chain amino acids and all the rest of that, right? Claire says hi, Kerry.
Hi, Claire.
Cool. Claire normally she is presenting, or she's going to be coming on board and presenting the full English Please Doris show on a Wednesday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you're like a dream team.
We try to be. It's just I'm really fussy. I'm the worst person to be with in the studio, but she kind of puts up with me, sort of thing. Yeah. So she has to learn all the techie side of stuff. So I want to be able to step away, and
She can do it. She can just do it.
yeah, because you got to have like these mad sort of Wing Chun arms to do stuff in a studio, especially with doing a show with all triggering the samples, the beds and everything over here. It's a bit hectic.
I'm sure she'll learn. She'll get it down.
Yeah, she will. You heard that, hun? You know what I mean? So
She'll
all right.
get it down. Well, give her a chance. She will. She's a woman.
Cool. I'm crap at multitasking.
Well, what can I say?
I'm rubbish. I'm rubbish. It's not even good. Right. What I'll do. So a spag bowl, and I was babbling on about cooking the food. That's what I was gonna say to you. You can have all these various USN blah 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 and all the rest of that bodybuilding powders, but look at the toll it takes on your organs. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you may get pumped up, but then you may keel over one day. I hope not. But with me, I found that the most amazing thing for repair, which I've had as of late, has been green dal. We call it mung dal. So if you run on dal, it's a £4 for a pack of dal. You whack it in a big pot, like a 6 litre pot. It'll just about do. Actually, no, you got to span it over to 9 litres. But that, if you train and then you have that, later on to repair, the way your muscles repair and rebuild. It's shocking. So it's not always about throwing money at things. I know.
So it's pure because obviously when you train, your muscles rip, the fibers rip. Okay, so that's how they get bigger. Yeah. And then when you take replacement like whey or creatine or whatever it is you're trying to do, then obviously that goes in and kind of glues the muscles back together in their bigger form. But you're right, there are all these other ingredients, things that, I don't mention any big brands, but, all of these whey proteins that you can use. And there's so much rubbish in them. Yeah. It's a bit like protein bars. If you're going to take those, make your own, take all the sugar out of it, take all of the, the additives and just unnecessary stuff that your body's got to work even harder to try and process. Take it out.
Very, very true. Very true. So here's me babbling on about bloody cooking in the kitchen. Yeah, it's a big thing because I'll tell you why it's important to me. Because to cook the same food that our ancestors cooked, is important, and to do it properly and authentically, because it's gonna, our culture as a Punjabi is in our music, is our food, our traditions as well. No matter where you are from in this world, or it's important to have those, and if you can't pass them down to the next generation,
they're your roots, so they're really important. It's keeping the tradition alive. But also what I find is that the best food is the traditional food. It's a bit like, my parents went to China. God, dare I say China? My parents went to China about 4 years ago, and they said, what was the most amazing thing? A Chinese takeaway out there is nothing like a Chinese takeaway here. And so I'm not surprised. It's traditional. It's where it comes from. That's the real stuff that you're having. You're not having all this MSG and having all this stuff that they put in it that just makes it taste very superficial and gives you a very bad tummy the next day.
Yeah, that's true. Claire said to me she wants to take me to Chinatown, and because Claire's
Chinatown's amazing. My most favorite food ever, if you know me, is sushi. There are some amazing sushi restaurants in Chinatown where you go downstairs into the cellar. The sushi chef is there. He's making it in front of you. Good sushi doesn't smell. It's really, really good. Fish should never smell when they're making a good sushi. And you sit on the floor and it's all authentic and it tastes amazing.
Oh, what's the place called?
Oh, there's a few. There's like 3 or 4 there. You can go. The names are in Chinese on the door, so I wouldn't be able to tell you what they're called because I don't speak Chinese. But you will know.
Wow. So, thank you. So that I will do. Your top 3 favorite songs from other artists.
I'm a massive fan of, so if we go Tamla Motown, Four Tops, Baby I Need Your Lovin', that's a great song for me. If we go, I can't really go like all time favorite, because it changes depending on what mood you're in. It changes depending on, the circumstances you're in. If you're in a fighting mood or a crying mood or a pissed off mood, or whatever it is you are, you've got different songs for different things, and 3 just isn't enough. But I'm really into listening to Ariana Grande's God Is a Woman at the minute.
Wow.
Which I love, just not because I'm very sort of feminist, and I just think it's a great song, and it kind of, if you think about the words behind it's a really, really good song. And Freddie Mercury's Who Wants to Live Forever is one of my absolute all-time favorites.
Yes. I'm gonna be cheeky here right now. Yeah, you gotta give me 20 seconds. I gotta run for.
Oh, he only dropped. He's only going for a wee. Go on then.
Yeah. All right, cool. Go on. Oh my god.
Hilarious.
I'm back. Bloody hell.
Is he back? He's back.
Yeah.
That's got to be the world's quickest Wii, hasn't it?
You're my hat. Do you know something? Thank you for that. Do you know what it was? You're talking to me. I was rocking backwards and forwards. I was thinking, oh my God. And I was looking at the mocha thing that I made. I thought, I can't even drink that. I thought, what's the point of making this stupid thing?
You need to go. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, but do you know, with me, it's normally during interviews. But the rest of the day, I'll be sitting there working on technical stuff for the studio. Like we've had, we have so many songs coming in, like for the radio show. It's because of lockdown. We're having like 70 songs, 100 songs a week. And that's not. That's not big though. By BBC standards, it's not big. But what I'm saying is, I'd imagine BBC Introducing gets like phenomenal amounts of stuff coming in. But as a smaller operation,
yeah, it is big. It's big turnover.
Yeah, it is. And I listen to every song as well. So it's funny. I just feel way better now. Now I'm with you properly, and I'm just chilled out, man. I told you, it's about getting old and incontinence.
We've all got that to look forward to.
What the hell? Oh my God! Brilliant. Right. So So you spoke about Tamla Molton, right? And I think last time when I interviewed you, you mentioned Roy Orbison, Aretha Franklin, Dusty Springfield. Yeah. So I love that. There's a song, Dusty Springfield, "Spooky Little Boy." Yeah,
that's a great song.
Yeah. I think they put that in one of the gangster films. Is Lock, Stock? Was it in there?
Yeah, it's a very that's a great song. It's a really great song. She's great. She was a great artist anyway. Again, very versatile. Very, one song wasn't really like the other, and she obviously brought Tamla Motown to the UK. So she's always got that kind of feel to her music.
Brilliant. All right. Have you ever lost motivation or hit a hurdle besides COVID? But how did you handle it?
Yeah. I think most musicians lose motivation, if not sometimes on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. It's just part of the game. It's part of, being a music artist. I read an amazing thing the other day that said, as a music artist, you will get told no more times in 1 week than somebody might do in their whole lifetime, and feel disappointed at every single time you get told no, because it's such a small market. It's such a small industry in terms of who knows who, but it's a very big market. Lots of people want to do it. It's enduring. And I can always remember my first producer saying to me, those that make it in this business have endurance. It's nothing really in the end to do with talent, or, you've got to have a certain amount of talent. But what I mean is it's how much you can take and keep going. How do you deal with it? You deal with it by, you get a little bit thicker skin every time it happens. You get yourself up, you dust yourself off, you move on to the next project. You stay away from the people that potentially have caused that situation. You just earmark it. You don't create a fuss. You just know that for next time, maybe, if you go there again, there could be a slight chance that it won't work out. And really, it's just about protecting yourself. And knowing what career plan you have. I mean, people will always come in and out. They'll drift in and out and tell you what you should be doing, what you should sound like, what you should wear, you know, all these things. Everybody's got an opinion on everything, but it is just an opinion. And as long as you're staying true to your music and the artist that you are, which will give you longevity in your music writing, then you can't go far wrong.
Wow. Talking about music, are you still working with Paddy Hunt from Brixton?
I'm just about to start working with Paddy Hunt again on Just a Memory. So yes, and he's actually moved to a new studio now in Finsbury. So I'm really looking forward, because he produced A Crying Game, which you're about to listen, or we're promoting at the moment, and he produced The Dawn that you kindly played for me back in April last year.
Wow, 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 wow. I love that track. Do you know, hold on a second. Yes, I did wash my hands. Sorry, a message from Harvey. So I didn't wash my hands. It's true, that's when my hands are wet. But it's just, yeah, I'm funny about that. All right, so family support in what you do.
Total support from my mum and dad. Total support. They tune into every show. They probably listen and say, hi, mum and dad. They watch every show. They listen to everything. They come to all the gigs if they can. My parents live in the West Country, so they're a good 250 odd miles away from me. So they do everything that they can to be in and around everything that I'm doing. And, you know, they listen to my woes and they listen to my down days and my up days and my successes and my failures. They're amazing. And I couldn't ask for any more, really.
Brilliant, brilliant. Tell me a funny studio or live performance story.
I was telling Sarah this the other day. So the very first time I used a microphone was at school, and I think I was about 15, and we used to have like an end of summer thing, you know, like a concert thing. And I always remember standing on stage, and the microphone was so stuck to the stand, and I haven't told anybody this, and it was on, and the song was about to start, and I wanted to take the microphone off to hold it because the stand was too rigid, and as I took it off, it smacked me straight in the forehead and just went, and because the sound was off, went dong 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 dong, and I was just like,
I'm so sorry.
that's the reaction I got from everyone in the audience as well. And it was at that point I thought, this industry is going to be interesting.
Oh, wow. 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 Respect, man, for that story. That's just brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to throw this question in there myself, right? It's not unscripted.
Mm-hmm.
Now, lockdown. Many people... You may have noticed on your very high street where you live in your locality that obviously SMEs are being sniped. So at the end of the day, you've obviously you've done the website. So have you've put your head into the financials of what you're doing? Have you analysed that critically? Have you looked at how Spotify is reducing its streaming, what you will, as an artist, will receive at the end? That's been reduced to, I'm sure, as of this month, I think, even further. So have you looked at
reduced even further from 0.001 of a dollar or whatever it is a stream that you get?
Yeah. So it's
not really a massive Spotify fan, if I'm honest. I mean, I use it as a platform just to gain exposure and try and gain fans. I believe that if you have an artist and they have put time, effort, money, and we're talking, when we say about a production, a good production for something, no less than £1,000 usually, all in with, and then if you're talking video on top of that, promo, advertising, social media, it costs a lot of time and it takes a lot of money for the average person with a working job. So I am a firm believer that people should pay for artist music, and I don't think that 99p a single or $11.99 for a full album with maybe 14 songs on it, 12 songs, whatever, is a lot to ask each individual if they really, really want to listen to the music. That's my own opinion. I'm not saying that, that is the only one, but as an artist, knowing how much all these things cost, I think we should support each other in that. And I don't think that we should be really, it's one of those things, isn't it? When Spotify first came about, everybody was like, oh yeah, the record labels are being cut out. It's amazing. Spotify lets anybody and everybody upload their music. Well, that's half the problem, is that they let anybody and everybody, people that probably are not even professional musicians, people that, are doing it as a hobby type sort of thing, which there's no problem in that whatsoever. But it saturates the market so much, and it makes Spotify such a massive conglomerate that the artists that are doing this professionally and the ones that do want to try and make headway in it find it even harder to try and do that and get paid for what they're doing and keep the funding going for everything. So it's a tough question. It's a very controversial question, that, because it's good for some things, but generally, really, it should be like iTunes, I believe. I think people should pay.
Yeah, certainly you are correct. So what I think is great is Bandcamp. What that's doing in terms of revenue coming directly
to the artist.
Yeah. Of course, and what's happened with adjustments to VAT and leaving with Brexit and all the rest of that, and prices dropping and more people buying more albums, etc. What have you. That's very, very interesting stuff. Then I had a talk with Mike Bell of Aurora Eclipse Productions, and he is really is a wizard at a film score and all the rest. That's his world, sound for film. So
syncing and stuff. Yeah.
That's the dude, man. So he spoke about what did Mike teach me? He said people are using a type of currency, like a cryptocurrency. I don't know what it is, how it works, but to purchase music, online, and credits and tokens and all the rest of that. So we're literally shifting away from traditional.
Yeah, traditional methods of purchasing music. Yeah.
Wow. So I'm just trying to look around for what the hell have I done? I'm an idiot, because I realised a true Indian, right, would always. Got it. Right. So yeah, at the risk of being a calculating Indian, right?
Oh, look at that. Okay.
It's a Texas Instruments BA2 plus professional business analyst, financial analyst calculator. So
it's a calculator.
Yeah, but this one's a gangster calculator. This is like your BA Baracus of a calculator.
It's gangster. Okay.
Yeah, so this one, right? Because I just got my scholarship through to do the whole chartered financial analyst thing as an analyst.
Amazing.
And, it is. But what I learned about the people around me. Claire said to me, she goes, Dav. I go, yeah. She goes, don't do it. And I go, why? She goes, well, you're doing really, really well on the radio at the moment. And she goes, you're going to mess that up. And also, I know how it makes you miserable, studying finance every day, running financial formula, and it just kills off your spirit. So I think for me, I use my financial little analysis skills, and I looked at the music industry as well and the way things were, and I do my best to support artists which put the effort in, and I'll do little tactics, like I know that if there's a big well-known artist on the show, I'll have their song on the show, and I'll tag an artist which is just up and coming next to that person.
Of course. And that's a really good, that's a good presenter. That's someone who will, not to plug it, but like for this week, I'm really good friends. I would like to say good friends with two of the presenters at Woking Radio, and wow. I send my tracks across to them. They put me on as track of the week. It's track of the week this week at Crying Game, which is amazing, which means it gets all the exposure that it could possibly get through that radio station. And DJs like yourself and presenters like yourself that, are just able to give the support. I mean, you say, it's nothing, we're not mainstream, but that doesn't matter. It's building fans, and it's building a solid, good, organic fan base, not ones that you're paying for to listen to once online. It's about having those supporters there that are going to stay with you through the course of your career.
Very true. Very true. Organic being the operative word there as well. It's true. So that's like a great gauge of whether your collaborations. Who would you collaborate with? Sorry, that's random.
Well, Crying Game is quite an upbeat, dancey track that I've written. I
Yeah.
like to think, although the vocals are quite velvety and very sultry, and I had to really think about how I was going to sing that song. And the video is fire as well. So, and that pushed me outside my boundaries of usual as well. But it's a great video, and I'm really excited for the release on the 8th of February. But I guess I would like to top line a song, maybe like with Sagala, or just something really, because I have, I've got a really sort of powerful voice, and I would love to have something that they create underneath that's very powerful. Or David Guetta, or Calvin Harris, so along those lines too. But then on the other side, on the classical side, I would love to do a duet with Andrea Bocelli.
Really?
Yeah. What a voice! What a voice!
Hold on a second. 1 second. Hold on. Who? Vina Rose did a duet. She was on stage with Andrea Bocelli. I interviewed Vina on Wednesday.
Amazing.
Yeah. That's what it was. So that name rung a bell, man. So at the end of the day, maybe you could talk to Vina.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I'd love to do a duet with him. It would just be, because I have classical roots. Here we go. We're talking about roots again. Yeah. Because I was trained classically. For me, that would be, Pavarotti, God bless him, is not here anymore. And, Roy Orbison's not here anymore. So for me, those kind of big, velvety, powerful voices, I would love to be given the opportunity just to work. Just one track, just to have a go and see what it's like.
I think when I was a younger lad, we're talking like 22 years ago, I had this opera teacher, may God rest his soul. Well, I hope he's okay during the whole lockdown thing, yeah. Because he was old back then. John Taylor. John, if you're alive, message Dav. Right, sorry. If you're not alive, send a message in the spirit world.
If you're not alive, could you get someone to go make me a cup of tea?
Oh, bloody hell, it's just true. What John taught me, right, was that he goes, watch Pavarotti before he hits a high note. He'll ground himself. He grounds himself before he hits the high note. And he goes, imagine some sort of a silver lining or something. And
coming out the top of his head, lifting him up, shoulders are relaxed, earth to the ground. Everything is about energy. Singing is about energy.
Wow, you smashed it. You smashed it. That's why you're on my show.
But it's true. You watch him. He does do that. There are all sorts of tips and techniques you can do. For opera singers, it's slightly different because, opera is it's a very specific thing. The vowels in classical are very long. You have an A, an E, an I, an O, and a U. It's all very long, but in contemporary, it's very short. So everything has to be matched to the style of singing that you're doing, which is why I said to you, there's a physics behind a lot of it.
Wow. Well, I went to have an opera lesson with an amazing Hungarian singer called Zita to try. Now, Zita's voice is like, well, it's like she must have sold her soul to the devil for it.
Wow. She did an Ariel out of Little Mermaid, did she?
Yeah, she's badass. Like, I thought, what the hell? Yeah, Aria, that's how it is. I thought that's the only way she could have the voice like that. She's that badass. What did she say to me? She said, bloody hell. We had to learn this thing called Verdi. And I thought
Verdi.
I thought that I know a guy called Mr. Raju Verdi, man. So I thought at the end of the day, it's not the same thing. But that was proper. Is hardcore, man. I thought learning the Indian scales is different. So we would have sa re ga re ga ma pa ma pa da pa da ni da ni sa. Yeah, so we would have that. Our harmonium over here is tuned to 8 = 4 4 4. Right. So in terms of scale work, there's obviously half notes or quarter notes and all the rest of that. Yeah, so that would be like a smoother transitions between the notes, and we can sustain.
Yeah, so like semitones and tones, you're talking.
Yeah. So my mum, she's got an amazing voice, like my mum has, and she's when she cooks, she's always in the kitchen cooking something. And she tries to overfeed you, so we all ended up a bit chunky, but except Harvey. But it's just
that's mums in general. That's mums.
but
have you eaten? Yes, I have. I'm going to make you something anyway.
Exactly. Would you ever experiment with other, let's say, there's the Western piano way of learning and training your voice. Would you ever consider learning the Eastern way?
Do you know what I'd really like to learn? And it's no word of a lie. What I'd really love to learn is
Yeah.
Bhangra.
Really?
Yeah.
You kidding?
Because rhythm in piano is everything. It's actually not about the keys. My very, very dear close music professor from Trinity, who's a doctor of music, is an amazing, amazing pianist. He would say to me, Kerry, if you haven't got rhythm, you can't play. And I say to him, don't be ridiculous. I know the notes. I know the key. He'd say, listen, if you can't count, you can't play. And he is right. So Bhangra and the rhythms and the cross rhythms and the syncopated beats, and amazing. If I could play that, my rhythm would be probably 5 million times tighter than what it already is.
I think you've won the hearts of the people that listen to RadiAsian, because
It's true, and it's the rhythms are so intertwined. It's a little bit like Baroque music in a very different way. Baroque music is contrapuntal; it just goes on, and different things come in, and it goes. It's exactly the same, and it's amazing how people that play Bhangra can just. I mean, the skill is phenomenal.
It is. It is. To be honest, when you hear the dol drum, the North Indian Punjabi drum, that just it's like a heartbeat to Punjabi Bhangra music around 90 to 102, 105, around 90 BPM. We're looking at that for the dol.
Mm-hmm.
But wow, well, you never know. In the future, you may end up sending over a track for my Saturday show. Which
Possibly.
Yeah. Okay.
There are many producers out there that want to work with me that do that stuff. I'm quite happy to top line something like that. Why not?
Wow. Thank you for that. Thank you.
No, it's cool.
So, you're a Roland girl.
I am a Roland girl. Not the rap, by the way. I'm talking as in the keyboards.
Yeah. Because last interview you said they've got the most authentic sounding pianos, and you're really big on that. And I've noticed these hoodies going about. I saw it on Facebook where, like, I'm a Korg man. Yeah. So, sorry, you may not like me. But,
No, it's fine.
But
I was going to say Nord, and I was going to go, oh, everyone's got a Nord. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'm very, very big on Korg, but definitely check out these mad hoodies going about, like these Roland hoodies, and there's Korg hoodies as well. So
I might have to get myself one of those.
Yeah, the proper. So I thought I definitely have to pick one up. Like, I think in the studio, what have we got over here? There's a belt buckle over here, which is like a bit keyboardy and synthy.
Very nice.
It's I don't know, but yeah. So have you had any more studio acquisitions during these last few lockdowns? More studio gear that you've bought?
What have I bought? I haven't really bought anything, but I have been in the studio. I don't know if that counts, but we've been up to Conk to record Make Believe in Tottenham Court Road, and that was really good. That's owned by the Kinks, that studio. So I think when we were in there, the guys from Suede were in Studio One making a racket, and we were upstairs trying to write this amazing song, which we have written, and it's a really beautiful song. So I've been there. I'm going to Finsbury to work with Paddy at the beginning of February, which I'm really, really looking forward to. I've been working with 2 other producers as well, really, really good, phenomenal producers. And we've just been doing lots of stuff as well at their studio. So I've been, obviously within the realms of being able to work, because it is my work. I have been in and out the studios, and I have to say as well, all the studios are COVID safe, which is great. So everybody's adhering to the rules, because that is a big thing for me. I obviously don't want to put myself or anyone else at risk. And that's it really. So I haven't really bought any gear. The only thing I did buy before lockdown was a new laptop, which I desperately needed, and thank God I did. But in terms of gear, no. Books for tutoring, yes, lots of books. But gear, no. Bit of a technophobe, really.
Wow. Okay, cool. As Tottenham Court Road, I studied Bloomsbury, which is University of Law, ULaw, for the whole solicitors, finals, masters, blah, 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 all that egghead stuff, right? But what I'm trying to say is that's not really my character as a person, even though, I thought, I'm 40 years old now, and if I don't do the things that I love doing rather than just chasing money, then I'd rather
listen. Money is important. I agree, but money comes and money goes, and you've got to think to yourself, if you're not healthy and happy, you can't spend the money anyway. What's the point?
True. Where's the studio in Tottenham Court Road? That's what I'm trying to work out.
I'm not very good at directions either.
No,
I just put it in.
it's all right.
The way it goes.
Is it near the station?
No, it's the other end.
Oh, bloody hell. Okay. That kind of helps. It's all right. It's cool. It's interesting, but so it's not towards the Bloomsbury end, but it's
No.
the other way.
As far as I remember, although I'll probably get round to Sarah's later and she'll go, yes, it is, and I'll go.
No, it's cool. One thing that always used to shock me when I used to go to class was outside. Used to turn up for the first lectures in the morning. You'd have the homeless people sleeping on cardboard on the actual section.
Cool.
Yeah, and I thought, the whole lockdown thing that's worried me. I was worried for them.
I mean, it's like life isn't bad enough already. That's even, that's hard. It's really, really hard. That's why I say, like, we have to be grateful for what we have got. And, even the circumstances we're going through, like I said, I've had a really rough time these last 6 months myself, but you just have to really appreciate the things that you've got and the people that you've got and the talents that you've got. And, whilst it is your responsibility to make the most of those things and try and be successful, it's a crime if you don't use your talent. It's a crime in my eyes. But you've got to be thankful for it too. You've got to be really, really thankful for the things that you do have.
I like what you said about it's a crime if you don't use your talent, because you know what it is? It's also a disrespect to your ancestors.
Well, it is. Yeah. And also, you were God given that talent for a reason. And whatever that reason may be, big or small, it's still your talent. It's unique to you. No one else can ever take it from you. No one else can ever replicate it, really. It's specific to you. And so that's the one thing that you bring to the world that you should really share with it.
1 second. Let me just put something out there. Auntie Gita, see, you heard what she said. See, the woman said about the talent. She said about talent. You want me to work in shop? I don't want to work in shop. Sorry, I just had to put that across to Auntie Gita. Yeah, sorry. So well done. Just to drive that.
She's gonna hate me forever now. Bless her.
It's true, because I remember when I was young and coming up, you had in the Asian community, you have a lot of doctor, lawyer.
This is what you're going to do. Yeah. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, but instead of ended up working in doing music and blah and ended up doing radio. But I love my job so much, right? That it's just I'm doing it around the clock. Yeah, Claire is tolerant of me constantly being in the studio, working and all that. And I thought, well, Claire, look at what we've got. I go, the radio show is kicking off, doing really, really well. We've hit so many countries with the listenership as well.
Amazing.
It's mad, and
But it's graft, right? It's graft. I mean, anybody that looks at this, and I mean, it's like the video for The Crying Game. I mean, it's beautifully shot by an amazing guy called Glenn Jevon, who does all my photography and videography. He's just, there isn't anyone like him that can shoot things like that, given the budget we were given. And you've got to love it. You've got to, it's not glamorous though. It's hard graft. It's everything. If you want something, it is blood, sweat and tears, day in, day out. And whilst everything looks pristine and, there is a reality side to it. This is, what we were saying about, having the realist approach to it too. Yes, you need to be realistic about your expectations and your goals, but you've got to attract the energy to know that those things will progress. It just takes time. Have the right people around you, have the right support. You're going to come across a bad egg now and again. It's going to happen. Yeah. And you let them come into your life and leave your life. That's just the way that it works. But you've got to appreciate what you have. That's it. That's all I can really say about that. And when you do, more will come.
That's true. That's very, very true. Now, last night you corrected me on so it's I thought, damn, I'm an idiot. So I put, is it The Crying Game?
It was originally called The Crying Game, but it's not now. It's called Our Crying Game, as in the line in the song. So that was my fault. So I apologise for that.
No. It's my fault, because I'm always panicking and rushing about. And I was funny regarding, I don't know where she's gone. Hello?
I'm back.
Oh, cool. All right, brilliant. Kerry, can you please tell me, break it down from the top. you know, what's the story behind A Crying Game?
So the story behind A Crying Game, it's it's autobiographical. It's loosely connected to a personal experience. It's about being in a relationship that when you really, really love the person a lot, it's just one party will really, really wants to try and work on things, and the other party really, really doesn't want to work on it at all. And it's about protection again. So you realize that you get to a stage in your life where it doesn't matter how much you give this person, how much support you give them, how much love you give them, how much experience you want to try and show them that there is more in the world, the more they just shut the door in your face. And you have to then take the responsibility and make the decision to walk away. And that's what it's about.
Wow.
So when you listen to the lyrics, and the lyrics will be available on the new website, which will be done probably this weekend, in terms of the website's live, but the lyrics will be there. It'd be really interesting to watch, because how many people actually look at the lyrics, because the lyrics really are what this song is about. It's got a funky bass line. It's really cool. The video's fire, but the lyrics are really what this song is about.
Brilliant. So regarding tracking and production, how long did it take?
I think it took Paddy and I think I did 2 studio sessions. So I went in the first time, we sat, we jigged the track. I mean, I love the way Paddy works. He is a typical producer. You go in, you sit for the day, and you sort out, right, this is going there, that's going there. I mean, I like to get heavily involved in the production anyway, because that's just me. As a musician, I think you do. You can hear it all in your head. The bass line I wrote specifically for that song anyway. I could hear it day in, day out in the shower. I was like, this has got to have this kind of kick to it. And I'd love to learn bass as well. Bass is probably an instrument I'd really kind of, although going from this piano for 20x plus years to this, I just can't do it. I've tried and it doesn't work for me. I don't have the strength.
Oh, then show me your hands. But what I'm trying to say, have you got big hands?
Yeah.
You ain't got big hands. You got little diddly squiddly hands,
I've got big hands. I've got piano fingers, Dav, is what I've got.
Oh, okay.
Long and slender, but again, it's the pressure. I can't I can't do it. I'd spliced my fingers in two. So for me, it just doesn't work. But I admire any bass player. It's probably, for me, bass and drums are a big thing in tracks anyway. Rhythm. See, rhythm again makes the music.
Yeah, it does,
yeah. So where was I going with this?
I don't know, but it sounds about the production and how you get involved in the production element.
So production. So I think probably 2 or 3 studio sessions. And then Paddy went, right, leave it with me. Right, leave it with me, because he's Irish. Right, leave it with me, Kerry. I'll come back to you. And he came back to me, and it was done.
I love the accent. I love the impression. I love it.
I don't do very good accents, although I like to think I can.
Love it.
My Jamaican is a beer can sandwich. I can't do that either. That's rubbish too.
Brilliant.
Because you don't say bacon, you say beer can sandwich.
Oh, that is class. I got to hear Indian one. It's just...
I'm definitely not good at that. Don't even ask.
Get out of the country. No, so get out of the shop.
Country.
Do you know the funny thing is, real story. I was called in as a just someone to assist on a mix at a studio. They go, we'll get Dav's ears in on the job. Oh no, right? So I went there, and I thought, I went there, and there was the receptionist person, and they actually thought I was the Uber driver. Can you believe it?
No. Oh, that's good. That's really not good.
It's not good, but there's no Prius. There's no dodgy driving. It's God's sake.
Oh well. I always get that. I go into supermarkets. We go, sorry, could you tell me what shelf? I don't work here. Do I look like I work here?
Oh no.
I need to change my wardrobe, clearly.
When I was young, I think we had our first few lessons on bass from Pete Williams, and he played bass for Dexy's Midnight Runners.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So Pete gave me my first few lessons on the bass guitar. I didn't pursue it that much. I went more towards synthesis and keys and sound design, but I've got the bass over here. But it's just bass is a beautiful thing to learn. You know, it's a beautiful instrument, and it's just. But then again, when you teach your students music theory, are you still giving them those blue and orange books, the A/B Guide to Music Theory?
They're the ones. They've updated a little bit. It's good. It was, what is it? It was pink and green, wasn't it? Now I think it's orange and yellow or something, but it's the same stuff. It's the same stuff over and over. But again, it's very important that they learn that for sure, because it encompasses all your theory. It encompasses everything that you need to know. Grounding. I'm a massive believer. Anyone that I talk to, and my students do this, they go, oh. But it's true. Classical training absolutely prepares you 100% for going into the pop world. Classical music is popular music, but just a few centuries back. It has an antecedent and a consequent, a question and an answer. So does pop music. Da 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 da. That's what we know today as verses and choruses.
Oh wow! So how long does it take you on average to write songs?
So the last song, it took me 3 hours.
What?
Yeah, that's average. The song Make Believe, which has just been finally produced, that took me 15 minutes. You only ever get that once in a while. Like, it just literally fell out of me. But usually I'd say a couple of weeks. And this is what I'm saying to you about going backwards and forwards and leaving it alone and not getting upset with it and not being able to push it. I mean, it's true what Amy Winehouse said. She said you could write a million things in a day, but they'll all be rubbish. It's true. You need to have an idea that really, really sits right melodically, rhythmically. It fits with what you're trying to achieve for the song. Once you've got the bare bones of it, then you can start adding stuff to it.
Wow. Superb. So this year, obviously that bloody hell, we're not sure what the bloody hell we're doing with lockdowns and gigs and all the rest of that. And,
I don't think anybody knows what's going on, did it? Whether Arthur or Martha.
Yeah, it's true. Do you remember the whole interpretation of the Rishi Sunak statement as well? That was very, very, that really got people's back up.
Just very, very badly interpreted. I honestly don't feel he meant it that way. I think it's just people's emotions are very high, and obviously, the music industry brings in 13 million a day into this country, which is not a lot, but it is a lot in terms of looking at health and beauty and all the rest of it. But I think it could have perhaps been written and said in a different way, just to be a little bit more aware of people's feelings and emotions towards this whole thing. I mean, I've got a lot of musical friends that have unfortunately lost their jobs. They are session musicians. They haven't got the work. Thankfully, on the second lockdown and this one, because the first time they shut all the studios and that was that. But this time you can work. And so hopefully, fingers crossed, people are getting back to some sense of normality with that. But, it's a tough time. If you're self-employed, it's a really tough time. And I think, the government have invested money back into the arts again, and they should. They should, because it's not just extracurricular. Without a world of music, without music in the world, no.
Exactly, yeah, it's true. Regarding tough time, how about this? First lockdown, government comes and teams up with the banks or pairs up with the banks, and then they offer businesses loans. And I'm like, no, I don't want the loans. I own everything outright. I've worked the shifts. I've grafted.
If you can't afford to buy it, then you don't have it.
Exactly. So, and I said to my friend, I go, rude boy. I go, they're gonna lick you with a second lockdown. That's gonna mash up the business, and they're gonna try and grab the things that you bought in the first place, or plus interest. Lo and behold, second lockdown happened, and there you have it. So those which took the loans, and I think as a SME operating in today's environment, I think because we run on a shoestring budget over here at RadiAsian, I think that's a blessing. We've been running on a shoestring budget for 5 years. over here.
Yeah, but you know your means, don't you? You know your
Yeah.
boundaries. You know what you can afford. You know that you know exactly where everything is. It's a bit like, I mean, I live in Hampshire, and I can say to you that there are a lot of very young people that drive around here in brand new cars. They've got brand new spanking houses. They're all racked up to debt. They're up to the hilt. They've got HP'd everything, or and whilst it's lovely to have all these things, what's the point if you can't afford it and you're going to be worrying about the stress of the money and everything else? Who wants to live a life like that?
Yeah, exactly. Like over here, um, I'll, I'll be real. Like, the main concern for us every year is our licensing. As long as our licensing's above board, not
It's sorted.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Basically,
Mm.
because not just from that to support musicians, obviously PRS, PPL, you know,
Yeah.
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 Every year, every Christmas, and every New Year's is always rubbish for me in terms of presents for everyone else, because I've always got to budget the money for licensing for the show and the station. Uh, Also, the fact that it's just literally other stations. Let me tell you how things operate in the Asian world, right? They look at it as competition. They look at it as, I look at people as my brothers, but they look at me like they've got a red dot on my head or on my back. So at the end of the day, they're waiting for me to break.
Each other. That's not how it should be. I bet, I mean, it runs in every industry. It runs in the music industry too. I mean, it's an awful thing to say, but I've been to many a gig where artists are all supporting each other, and 9 times out of 10 you might find one artist in that whole lot that will actually be supporting you, and the rest are like, no, this is competition, we need to be better than you. And it just creates negativity. It creates a negative vibe. It's not healthy. It's toxic to perform in. It puts you on edge straight away. You should be brothers in arms. You should not be fighting against it. You're all working for the same cause, surely.
Very, very, but in reality, it's a whole
Mm.
different, a whole
Human
different
nature,
ballgame.
right? People are human before they're anything.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think I'm doing okay in terms of radio now. Like, but what people don't look at now, I think this may apply to you as an artist as well, because you are kicking butt now. You're doing very well. Um, People don't look at the graph that you put in. All the years where you were, not saying that the underdog, but it's just that we have that fight within us. For me, I try and champion new artists which are up and coming, and I know the mission statement over here for RadiAsian, then one station for the Asian invasion.
Oh God, that's the worst bit of the interview, is getting that right. Go on.
Do you know what it is? A few doors down, there's a woman, right? She's proper racist, right? I'm not even kidding. She's got the Union Jack and everything inside her door, and she said, "One of your type knocked the door in the middle of the night." And I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "What do you mean, one of my type? What?" I thought, "What the hell is that supposed to mean? One of your type?" And then she realised that it's about to get into a debate, but it's just if she knew the slogan for RadiAsian, she'd be on it, man. She'd be like, because we said RadiAsian, the #1 station for the Asian invasion. That would really get
Asian invasion.
exactly the Asian invasion.
You want to get a banner and stick it outside? That's what I would do.
It's true. It's true. She goes, "It was different in our day in Dagenham. Now all you darkies are coming over and all the rest of that." And I thought, what? She said, I thought, you are, no way. No
She
way.
actually said that to
Yeah.
you. Wow, that's special. That's
Yeah,
what that is.
Yeah, it is. It is. But what are you going to do to an old woman, man? But
I think you just have to let that glide right over. Just
Yeah.
let that wash over and down. Let it go away. Breathe deeply. Meditate.
Exactly.
Shame.
Right. Okay. Is there anything you've changed your mind about musically? Like you think I made a mistake on this, and or I didn't want to use this particular audio principle, or just anything?
Yeah. So like I said to you about developing sound. So in the last probably 4 or 5 tracks, I've really developed a sound, and my sound contains now a lot of BVs, and that's not in the terms of layering the work to hide my voice. That's just creating the emotion and the haunting and the reverb and the getting lost in a track. I mean, the next track to this, actually, I don't know what order they're going to go in, but there is a track that's just been produced called Make Believe, and I keep going on about this track 'cause it's amazing, but it's you get lost in it. The aim of the track was to have 3.5 minutes of getting lost in the emotion. And Sarah and I sat and listened to it the other day. I was on Zoom, she was on Zoom, and I mean, I can't listen to it without it really just resulting me to tears. She can't listen to it without the hairs on her skin going up. So for us, that's when we know the track is like, you know, ready to go. There is a track that I had produced a couple of months ago called Slow Down. Okay. And that, again, is about a relationship hurtling into a place where it cannot be, or it's going into a danger area where it's just going to literally fall apart. And it's an amazing song, but it's got the wrong production. We tried to kind of envelope a real kind of The Weeknd bass line with it, with a dirty Diana guitar, and it didn't really quite work. So all it needs is a rejig. It needs a rework. We've got the stems. We can just have a look into it. So yes, you know, sometimes you do these things. You do invest the money and the time, but I'm very particular. If I don't like the song, then it will get changed for sure.
Wow. Lockdown and working remotely via technology, how has that been with you? So are you firing across stuff that you may lay down? I mean, do you lay down stuff at home? You know, like a night?
So I don't have a home studio. This is how technophobe I am. I used voice memos.
Brilliant.
And I write old school music because that's how I was taught at Trinity. So I write my music, and then I send my voice memo, over it goes, and then we have a telecon, and I go, and I can hear crashing drums here, and I can hear timpani there, and they go, whoa, slow down. And then that's how we kind of get it going. Then I go into the studio, and because obviously I play a lot of the keys on the tracks, then we kind of base the track around that, because that's how the track is written usually.
Wow. So again, give me a quick rundown of what we're expecting in terms of releases again.
So we've got 8th February, we've got A Crying Game. Great release. It's got an amazing video to it. So I would say, even if you don't like the song, have a watch of the video. It's a really cool video. And if you're listening to the show, for me personally, it was so much fun. Although I froze all day long doing the video, it was so much fun. And it's pushed me outside my boundary, but in a good way. So it's given me some confidence, which is good. After that, we've got a track called Darkest Hour coming. That's coming in sort of 3 months' time. That will be the next release. After that, we've got another track called Someday coming. So we've got lots of things coming. Hopefully by the middle of the year, the band will be, they're up and running anyway, but hopefully once lockdown lifts, we can all meet, have a few sessions. And we got a couple of actual local festivals in Hampshire that we've been asked to play at, which is great. And there's going to be some live acoustic videos with myself and Sarah, and possibly a couple of members of the band, just doing a couple of things that will be released to keep fans interested on the website, etc. Website's just been released. That's really good. If you're listening and you like the sound of the tracks, or have a look on there, please subscribe, because it's really important for me to get followers and get, you know, ideas and tips and what people want. That's always really important too. And yeah, so it's a real kick-ass year. There's loads going on, loads and loads. Well, and normal life as well.
Yeah, that's true. Depending on you know, look, man, have you seen The Handmaid's Tale?
I haven't seen it. No, it's supposed to be very good though, right?
You need to watch it, man.
Okay, I'll watch it, man.
Yeah, I love it because right, I watched that and I didn't come out for like, we locked down anyway, and Claire goes, "Dad, you're in a bad mood." I'm not in a bad mood. I go, I'm analysing what I've watched. Yeah. I go, this is where we're at. This is what's happening. We're being conditioned, and this is the world we're going to be living in. Blessed be the fruit. And remember, I said, blessed be the fruit, because when you do watch it, you'll realise. Yeah. So this is like Gilead.
I'm on it.
Because I never normally watch anything, but I never get time to. But I thought I have to watch The Handmaid's Tale. And there's one thing called Dark Mirror that Mike Bell recommended as well, something like that. So you just definitely watch that. But
Okay.
maintain your positive, uplifting vibes. And your website is the new, updated, flashy is kerrygoodhind.com.
It's really good. If you can watch it on a desktop, watch it on a desktop, because there are that you can click. It's very interactive. There's lots of things there. If you scroll down, you can click on stuff and videos will appear. And and actually it's really good. We've picked a real good mix of styles, photos, songs, so you can see the eclectic mix of the artist, of me. Okay, so every song has got a little bit of me in it, of course. And it's just a really great, solid website to start the year off with, given everything that's gone on this last year and how we're all feeling. Give it a go. It might even just make you smile, just having a look at it.
That's very true. Very, very true, Kerry. I got a message from Claire saying, Dav, stop talking to her like that, man. Just stop using the word man.
Yeah, Claire, tell him. You can just drop a little whoa in there. Yeah, watch it, woman.
Yeah.
We're back to the Jamaican thing, woman.
Oh, wow. That's good. Right, your socials are all the same, aren't they? So it's Facebook, Insta, Twitter is at Kerry Goodhind.
Yeah, right? You might want to type in at Kerry Goodhind Music, because I think they've just been recently changed. So it's Kerry Goodhind Music or Kerry Goodhind. You might find it under there as well.
Okay. There is. Could you? This is the part, man. Come on, let's do it. So could you please do me a favor as a presenter? Could you say, hey, this is Kerry Goodhind. You're listening to RadiAsian, the #1 station for the Asian invasion.
Sure.
Okay.
Hey, this is Kerry Goodhind, and you're listening to the RadiAsian, the #1 station for the Asian invasion.
That's good. It's good, but can you ditch the "the" before RadiAsian? Right, here we go.
Oh, you're gonna make me do it again? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, just so everybody knows, I'm reading what Dav actually sent to me, so I'm sure it says "the." It does.
I'm sorry.
It says "the." So, hey, this is Kerry Goodhind, and you're listening to RadiAsian, the #1 station for Asian invasion.
No. It. I'm gonna write. It's me. I'm so sorry. I'm.
Am I not doing right? This is what you've written, Dav. Look.
Oh, hold on a second. Show me. This is funny. I love it. Hold on. This is Kerry Goodhind, and you're listening to RadiAsian, the #1 station for the Asian invasion. Okay, one more time. I'm sorry.
Is that right or not?
That's right. Yeah.
Right. Oh, so I did do it right then. Right. Okay. Hey, this is Kerry Goodhind, and you're listening to RadiAsian, the #1 station for the Asian invasion.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That is it. Bud, ding, ding. That is it, man. You done it. It's brilliant.
I haven't heard that for years.
Exactly. Right. On this particular, because this is a YouTube live stream, I can't play out music on this because it's a breach of licensing, blah 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 blah, and we get flagged on that. But what I'll do, when am I good to play out this? Because you give me a specific date, you go, Dav, you can play it out between.
Now. All radio stations are playing now. You can play now.
Really?
Anytime from now. Yeah, of course.
All right, cool. Superb. So be very, very grateful for that. Thank you for that, because you sent me a message saying play it from these dates and then to these dates, and I thought, what I'm doing.
Then I sent you another one saying, please play from now.
Oh yeah. Because what it is, I've had to start doing this thing where I'm date stamping each of the songs being sent in.
Yeah, no. Anytime from now is fine. Anytime, because it's pre-release, so we've literally got 3 weeks, and we want to try and gain as much momentum, exposure as much as we can, just to get it going.
Right. What I can do to give you the boost, I'm going to be live tomorrow.
Cool.
With the radio show. I'll be playing it at the tail end of the Punjabi music show.
Will you let me know so I can post it out on socials?
Yeah, of course. Is there anything else? Is there anything I've missed out? Because I don't want you to say this Dav guy is a complete idiot.
No, it's been great. It's been great. Lovely to chat to you about other things as well. You get to see the human side, which is what I really want people to see, is that, sometimes you get sort of lost behind in an artist of it being so polished and branded, and people don't really get to connect with you, and I'm quite a private person in terms of social media, so it's nice to do these so that people can see that there is a human side. And if there are any fans out there that do want to get in touch, they're more than welcome to get in touch via the Facebook page or via the website as well. All messages come direct to us, so
Kerry, it's been an absolute pleasure and an honour talking to you. Thank you for being lenient with me, allowing me to go to the toilet. No.
I'll never forget that.
That's embarrassing.
I've got one in the bag now, so for the next interview.
I don't know what it is. It was the stress. I think it's the stress.
No stress. It's Friday, no stress.
As a presenter, boy, I'm gonna watch that back and thinking, do I edit that part out or not? But yeah, I think I need to edit that, or just leave it in there.
Leave it in.
Yeah, be the shameless vagrant with his willy hanging out. Yeah, why not?
Okay, maybe edit that bit out, but yeah, it's fine.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Kerry. God bless you.
You too. Take care and stay safe.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
That is mad.